Okay, everyone, it is right at the top of the hour. I'm going to get started. I know that your time is precious and I do not want to take up any more than I have to. My name is Brittany Moulton. I'm the field marketing specialist up here in Northwest Florida. So I cover the panhandle up here from Pensacola all the way to Panama City Beach. And I'm looking forward to our class today. Today, we're going to be talking about how to just get one more listing and I have a PowerPoint that I am going to share. So right now, what I'm going to do is share my screen. If somebody could just tell me that they can see my screen, that would be super helpful, just so I know that you're looking at my PowerPoint here in just a second.
Sure can.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right, so getting just one more, finding sellers in a low inventory market. This class is really going to talk about how we want to be a listing agent, right? We know that you're going to get more listings if you have a listing. So we're going to talk about how to get listings in a low inventory market, the things that you can do, and how you can actually get them. Getting just one more listing can change the direction of your business, reshape your focus, and grow your business. In this section, you will learn effective and strategic Coldwell Banker marketing tools you can immediately deploy to reach seller prospects with valuable and educational information that will open the door to listing appointments and more listing inventory for you. So this is what this class is focused on, how to get more listings. Develop a personal business plan is the number one thing that we need to do. And what we mean by that is we need to make sure that we have a business plan drawn out. What that looks like is it's coupled with a great marketing plan, and it's also coupled with a goal and attainable actions that can be made on your behalf. So when we talk about a business plan, we need to make sure that you have a goal that you're trying to reach. So something that's really great is our new Moxie tool actually has a GCI goal. So the whole focus around Moxie is to try to get you to that GCI. And we know the faster that you can get those listings, the faster you'll get to that GCI you're looking for the year. So when maybe you're a new agent, the first thing I would say is sit down, get with your manager, and build out a business plan. Build out how much that you're looking to gross this year and what that looks like in depth, i.e., how are you going to get there? What's your marketing strategy? How much money do you have to put towards marketing? What is the collateral that you have to get you there? What are the tools that you have to make you successful? And we will talk about some of those tools today on this call. But you have a lot of tools that Coldwell Banker offers to help you with your business plan, to help you get to where you want to go. Review your success to determine which business building activities helped you win listings in the past. So maybe you're a new agent and you haven't had a listing. That would be sitting down with your manager and other seasoned agents and asking those questions, figuring out, diving into those agents that maybe have a really great business around listings on what they're doing and what's working. I talk about this a lot in a lot of my classes, but we always talk about in marketing. Marketing is all about looking at what someone else is doing, seeing what you like about it, and tailoring it to yours, right? That's what marketing is in its essence. It's seeing what is working and using those ideas, maybe putting your creative spin on it and using it. So the same thing can go here, right? Determine what is worked in the past. There are tried and true things that work for listings. For example, my dad was in real estate for 45 years before he passed away with Coldwell Banker. And there are things that he did every single day that still to this day, they might seem old school, are the reason why he was a listing agent and not a buyer's agent. Because he knew those things that if he did them every single day religiously, they were going to reap those benefits. Toss efforts that did not yield results. So we talk about this in marketing a lot. When we try something, we're always looking for an ROI. You need a return on investment. If you're spending money on something and you're not seeing an ROI, depending upon what that is, we need to make sure that we're not putting that money towards that any longer. So there are going to be things that you're going to try and you have to try before you can actually say, okay, that didn't work. And So just make sure that you're actually keeping hold of what you're doing. And in marketing, that's, a great marketing plan. And in your business plan, it's jotting down the things that you are doing to keep track of them. So you can look back and say, this worked, this didn't work. So being organized is key. So if you're new to real estate and you're really looking to just, get out of the gate running, you need to stay organized and you need to have a good plan to execute. How to get busy finding that next listing. So we're going to talk about that, what the steps that we can take to get that next listing, what we can do to get that next listing. There's a lot of things that we can do. We know that are tried and true, and there's some ideas that I'm going to throw out here that maybe you haven't heard of or you have heard of and make you think a little differently. Number one, talk to rental property owners. So go around and talk. See what they're looking for. You want to talk to those property owners, the rental property owners, and see what their commonality is, what they're looking for, right? They're buying a lot of property to have rental properties. What are they looking for? Find those investors, find those people that are willing to step out and invest in some property to have renters in them. You want to get to know them. That's networking, right? So that's looking at the homes, getting in with the HOAs, getting in with the community neighborhoods. We talk about this a lot in that there's another class that I just taught last week, and it was about your targeted area and your niche. And really knowing that neighborhood, right? So if you're in your neighborhood that you're really targeting, then you're going to know who's renting and who's buying, who owns, right? Like you're going to know the renters versus the buyers. So that is you getting in that neighborhood and really getting comfortable with that area. Number two, search for expired listings. So you can use the MLS for this. Go ahead and search and see. I think you would be surprised if you got on the MLS and did a search today to see the expired listings and see that there are actually a lot of them out there. Reach out to those individuals, drive by those properties, figure out why that listing was expired. Was it priced too high? Was the agent not qualified? I mean, I'll tell you this, I've been in real estate for a while now. Like I mentioned before, my dad was in real estate for 45 years. I have seen a lot of agents come and go. And right now, especially with the market as hot as it is, everybody thinks that they can be an agent, right? Well, there are a lot of agents out there that go and they get these listings and they promise in the sun and the moon and the stars and they deliver nothing. So you are with a company that is tried and true and trusted and is the number one brand in the United States. So you have that going for you, but you also have your expertise and who you are and your niche. Go and look at those expired listings. Maybe some of them are in your niche neighborhood. Maybe you can share with them, hey, I have a buyer looking to buy your home. That was something that my dad did all the time. You would knock on doors all the time and hit the neighborhoods and say, I have a buyer that will buy your house today. Those are things that really work. So I encourage you to get on the MLS and look for the expired listings. Get on there and see when they expired. Who they were with previously. Maybe they were with a different firm, and figure out how you can reach out to those people and let them know that you might potentially have a buyer for their listing, as well as some knowledge. If you can give them something that they're not getting from their previous realtor, that is going to be what sticks. So you need to be able to give them knowledge and something that they can stick on to you and hold on to. Number three, find the downsizers or plant the seed. So we know that as families progress and as uh, families get older, their kids go away to college, or you get those older generations that live in these huge homes that they can't keep up. Maybe they're two-story homes that can't go up and down the stairs. This goes back to, walking your neighborhood and knowing your niche, right? If you're in your neighborhood at least once a week that you're farming, you're going to know those downsizers, or maybe those people that need to downsize or can downsize, or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's the ones that need to upsize, right? But if you're in your neighborhood that you're marketing and that you're farming, you can know this, you can see this. I mean, it's just spending that time, and I think that's where we have come away from in real estate is we're not spending time in the neighborhood that we're marketing. You should be walking that neighborhood, you should be on the HOA, you should be going to the meetings. You may not be able to be on the board obviously because you don't live in the neighborhood, but you can be going to the meetings, you can be going to the community events, you can go to the garage sales, you can walk the neighborhood, walk your dog in the neighborhood, drive the neighborhood, right? Get yourself in that neighborhood so you can see the potential to start talking to people, introduce yourself, give information, send out newsletters, things like that. But that's how you can find the downsizers. 4, be the best buyer's agent. So if you are the best buyer's agent and you work with a couple or an individual or a family buying a home, they are more likely to use you when they are ready to sell and refer you. We know in real estate the best thing that you can get is a referral, right? That is the best thing that you can get. And if you give extraordinary customer service and you are the best buyer's agent out there, they're just organically going to be referring you to other people that they know. People want to work with people they like, know, and trust. I saw a statistic recently that was very alarming that a lot of people who have worked with an agent, they're not opposed to using that agent again. I think it's like 70% were happy with their agent and would use their agent again. They just don't remember who they were. And that's sad, right? So that means not only being the best buyer's agent, getting them through the closing table and into their home, but it's keeping up with them and prospecting with them and touching them and using your marketing skills to get in front of them multiple times so that when they are around family or friends or maybe at the ball field and somebody's asking for a referral, you can be the number one person that they remember because you're top of mind. So being the best buyer's agent doesn't mean getting them to the closing table and forgetting about them. It means keeping their information, dripping them, checking in on them. I know a lot of agents do some really fun, neat ideas, but 1 year anniversary, house anniversary, what are you doing to celebrate that with them? Are you sending them a card? Are you sending them an email? Are you sending them a gift, right? There's certain things maybe our marketing budget doesn't allow us to send something to every single buyer, but we can send them an email that's free. We can send them a handwritten card, happy house anniversary. I hope you still love your home, and you want them to continue to think about you. And here up in Northwest Florida, we're in a very transient area because we have a lot of military that come through. So if you're the buyer's agent, 9 times out of 10 up here, that person's going to want to move or need to move in the next 4 or 5 years to get stationed somewhere else. So it's imperative that you keep up with those buyers so that in the meantime, while they're thinking about it, they can remember, oh yeah, I worked with Brittany. She was great. I want to make sure that I call her again when we're ready to sell, as well as refer her to all my friends and families. Number 5, prospect smarter. Use the tools that Caldwell Banker gives you. There's a ton of tools that you can use on desk for prospecting. Some of them include Cole Realty Resource, where you can go in there and you can actually look up potential names in a subdivision or a neighborhood that you're farming, and you can get their address, phone number, and information. Um, Prospect smarter also means that we're not just prospecting to everybody, right? We're being strategic about our efforts. We're learning about our demographics. We're learning about our niche. So I give this example a lot, but if you're walking your neighborhood and you notice that maybe there's younger generation, there's a lot of millennials in your area, sending them a postcard probably wouldn't be the most beneficial thing for you to do because that is my category and I hate mail. I don't look at postcards. You're not going to get me with a postcard marketing. You're going to get me with a social media ad or a streaming ad. So if you know your demographic, you know your area, you can prospect smarter. You don't have to worry about trying to, spend thousands of dollars in postcards in that neighborhood because you know that those aren't going to be a good ROI. So you can use the tools on desk like Cole Realty Resource. You can use the tax records to go ahead and look up all those individuals in that neighborhood's information to get in front of them and get involved in that community, get into that community. Number 6, capture seller contacts at open houses. So this is really important. So open houses are awesome. And as a new agent, I always when I'm talking to my new agents, I always encourage them to try to sit an open house for a seasoned agent or someone that has a property that they're going to do an open house on, because this is a great way to meet people that are actively in the market searching for homes. People don't, there are, I don't want to say not always, but most people that are looking at a home, you do have those nosy neighbors in the neighborhood that come always for the open houses. We call those the neighbor lookies. But you also have the people that are actively getting in the car, getting their family there, looking for a home. These are people that are further down that funnel that are ready to buy. And that's how you can capture some really great leads. Obviously, you need to always ask them, are you working with an agent? We don't want to steal someone if they're already working with someone, because you wouldn't want that to happen to you. But open houses are a really great way to get in front of potential sellers and buyers, because maybe they are those looky loos, maybe they are those neighbor looky loos, and you can say, hey, this house is for sale, you live next door, you have 10,000 more square feet, we can get this price for your home, right? Let me come and sit with you and give you a CMA and talk about what your home is worth. You can also, just network here, get really great information, and put these people on drip campaigns. So open houses are a really great way to get seller contacts. 7, target moving and huge garage sales. This is key. This is a really great one. I love that this one is in here, because this is something my dad actually used to do. And this goes back to driving your neighborhood, driving your niche neighborhood. Drive around. You can usually tell when someone's getting ready to sell their house. They're doing landscaping, they're painting, they're pressure washing, they're having a garage sale, they're downsizing, or maybe they're getting rid of stuff. Maybe there's a pod out front, right? There's signs that you can tell that there's something happening, there's stirring happening. So drive those neighborhoods, stop in on those garage sale, do a little shopping, get to know that person, meet the homeowner, ask them, hey, it looks like you're, selling all this stuff. Are you moving soon? Oh, maybe I am, well, do you have a realtor? Those are a great way to just connect with people, and also just a prospect, right? Hand out your card, tell them that you'd love them to refer you to someone. You might have neighbors in the neighborhood shopping these huge garage sales that you can kind of mix and mingle with, and just say, wow, I'm a realtor. I stopped here because it looked like this person was moving. I have a buyer that wants to buy in this subdivision. Do you live here? And start those conversations. I think one thing that we forget is that, being a realtor is more than just, doing a transaction, getting your dot loop done. It's that relationship building and really getting to know these people and getting yourself out there and being vulnerable and being able to speak to people in these settings. And this is a great way to get out there and talk to people, and take a look. Like I said, some other things are obviously landscaping, painting the exterior. Most people try to get their lawn and their gardens in the springtime looking good. But I mean, if you're seeing major landscaping going on, then 10 times out of, 9 out of 10 that person's ready to move probably. And there's other signs, right? I mean, you can drive by a property, maybe it looks abandoned. Maybe you need to figure out who lives there. Maybe the renters aren't there anymore, and you can call the rental owner and say, hey, looks like your property's abandoned. Let's sell it. Things like that. So use your knowledge and use your expertise in this area to drive your neighborhood, to get into that neighborhood, and to really figure out who's ready to move. Again, military families, going around the neighborhoods that maybe military families live in, and asking them how long they're staying for, if they need to move in the next couple of years, because 9 times out of 10 they're about to move. Number 8, send an anniversary card. So we kind of already touched on this, but I really wanted to just drive it home. This is really special and important. When you buy a home, or maybe when you sell a home, getting a card from your realtor that they remembered that they sold you that and it's your anniversary is so special. Like I said, there's a ton of things that realtors do to stay in front and stay top of mind. But this is something that I think is really, really great. An anniversary card is just special. You feel thought of. It doesn't cost a lot of money. It's easy. And how you can stay organized, right? So like going back to that business plan, staying organized. So when you go through a transaction and you finish, putting that on the calendar, I sold the Smiths on this day. That gives you a calendar reminder the next year to go ahead and write an anniversary card and get that out there. This makes it just extra special. 9, research an MLS for the past homes that never sold. So take a look. This goes back to those homes that had sat on the market that never sold. Do some research. A part of our job is to be researchers, to understand where we're at in our neighborhoods, and to know what's going on. And how we can do that is using our tools. And one of those tools is the MLS. The MLS is a great resource for you to go in there and look for FSBOs, expired listings, and maybe homes that were on the market that never sold. So why did they never sell? Was it taken off the market because they decided they weren't going to sell? Did it not have the right resources? Was the realtor not equipped? Reach out to those, individuals and say, hey, I noticed that this home was never sold. I have a potential buyer. That's always a great excuse to call someone. I got a buyer that's interested in your neighborhood and your home. Can we talk more? Are you looking to sell? We don't want to be dishonest, but at this point in time, I think we have a buyer in every market, just the way that we are. Number 10, good old fashioned door knocking. So this is my favorite. And this goes back to the days where I used to help my dad prospect, and he would pull me in a little red wagon and we would go knock on doors. He used to have these magnetic paper pads that had his picture in black and white and Coldwell Banker. And we would pass those out. I would knock on the door and hand the potential seller, the packet, and my dad would say hi. He would stand off in the distance. And of course, they would comment how cute I was. And that would just be a really great segue for him to say, you looking to buy or sell your home, or you have anyone that you know that's interested in selling their home? I'm your friendly local realtor. And it was a really great way to break the ice. He brought me along. It was something we did together. I always enjoyed doing it with him. And he's not walking up and down. I'm doing all the hard work. And I should have probably gotten paid for that. But anyways, this is my favorite. This still works. Even now, we're getting further and further away from COVID. People are more likely to open their door. This is something we should get back into because it does work. It's one of those old-fashioned marketing things that it's free, usually, unless you're, handing out collateral, and it just takes your time. And it gets you in that neighborhood, and you can take a peek at the homes and see what's going on and see the flow of the homes. Before I go into what's in our toolkit for prospecting to get just one more, I'm going to pause and I'm going to check the chat to see if there's any questions in the chat. So give me 1 second to kind of move over here. See if there's anything in the chat. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Does anyone have any questions before we move on to what tools you have? No? Okay. All right, then we will move right around. Okay. All right, so these are the tools that you have with Coldwell Banker in your toolkit for prospecting to get just one more. Number 1 is Prospect Square. Number 2 is MarketQuest V2. Number 3 is Moxie, HomeSpotter Boost, Social Ad Engine, CoreRealty, and Video. So we're going to talk through each one of these, but I just wanted to give you a broad thing. Using the right tools will help you win just one more listing. Prospect Square. So Prospect Square brings together all your contacts and all the ways you can reach them into one central hub. You can stay connected with them by sending out market, area, and quarterly reports. So Prospect Square, if you were taking notes, is the place where you can get those reports to send out to your contacts. So you've got that market report. Well, it will tell you the market, the area, the geographical area, what's going on, the prices, what's been sold, things like that. Then you've got the area where you can even get down to a neighborhood. And you can talk through what that area looks like. And then you have our beefy quarterly reports. So these reports are going to be those really intense, data-driven, analytical reports. I always say those are great for like doctors, analytical green people that really need those analytical statistics to make a decision. But you can actually dump your contacts into Prospect Square and set them up on these reports depending upon who that individual is and what their needs are. So as you're prospecting, not only do you want to put those contacts in Moxie, you might have them in Touch right now, but we're going to want to put those in Moxie. You're also going to want to put them in Prospect Square. Prospect Square also sends out any of your information for listing concierge. So if you're if you're using listing concierge on your listings, which I highly encourage because that is a way to get just one more. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Prospect Square, that list that you have in there, that's where the listing concierge coordinator's pulling to send out your emails that go out for all of your listing concierge packages. So Prospect Square is a great resource to go in there and give market reports, area reports, and quarterly reports, but it also is great for listing concierge. Moxie. So Moxie's changed a little bit. This PowerPoint is a little bit dated because it's only saying Moxie Present, but Moxie Present is where you go and you get all of your listing presentations. You can also do a buyer presentation and a buyer tour. But this is the presentation and CMA tool that lets you create, customize, and share a variety of multimedia presentations. So this is what you would actually present to a potential seller. So you would want to do a Moxie presentation before you go to the listing appointment. So Moxie is going to equip you with the presentation that you will provide to your potential seller. It's also where you could do a CMA. I know a lot of agents like to do CMAs in the MLS, but there is a CMA tool in Moxie where it can pull the comps. So if you're on the go and you get a listing appointment and you're so busy and you just need to pull up Moxie really quick and do a presentation, you can pull a CMA within 3 minutes and have a presentation that's beautiful and ready to go. So Moxie is key. This is going to be the thing that is going to arm you to be successful in winning that listing every time. HomeSpotter Boost. So HomeSpotter Boost is one of our social media platforms that we have on desk that will help you with social media advertising. So this is to generate more leads. Basically what it is it runs an ad on your Facebook and your Instagram. Usually for listings that you have, it also will run a branded ad. But what the goal of this platform is to get you more leads. So not to get too in the weeds with Facebook, but if you're running advertisement on your own through Facebook, we are in a special ad category because we're in real estate and we work with financials. So to be in compliance with fair housing, we're not able to target people by income, behaviors, or really anything on Facebook. The only thing we can target when we're running ads is through a zip code. HomeSpotter Boost actually targets individuals that are actually seeking homes, and how they're able to do that is they have a really special relationships with Facebook and they've curated a custom audience. So what that means is they can actually pull a list of people that are searching on Google or searching around that are looking to buy homes and put your ad in front of them rather than you casting a net on Facebook in a zip code, hoping that somebody is actually looking to buy or sell their house in the next few. So HomeSpotter Boost is just a really great program that we have. HomeSpotter Boost is also ran in all of our listing concierge packages. So if you've used any of listing concierge, then you've already ran a HomeSpotter Boost ad. And you can tell that they do a really great job. So they have leads that come in all the time. So if you've ran one of these, you've probably gotten leads because to see the information, they have to unlock either the pictures or the directions, their price by putting in their email. So that's an immediate lead for you to go ahead and put in there and drip. Social Ad Engine is the second social media tool that we have for running ads. This one's a little different in the sense that it has a campaign driven goal. So for instance, if your goal is to drive more traffic to your website, you can run an ad for that. If your goal is to get more leads, you can run a lead generation campaign. And then if you're just looking for like shares, and engagement on your social media, you can run a campaign on that. So social ad engine is a little bit more in depth in the sense that you can choose what you want to do in there for your campaign goals. But this will run ads on Facebook and you can upload your own ads here. You also have a little bit more creative freedom with Social Ad Engine. With HomeSpotter Boost, it's pretty boxed. You don't have a lot of freedom in what you can run. With Social Ad Engine, you can actually upload stuff from BrandServe or Canva if you wanted to create your own ad, and they'll run it on your Facebook. But the good thing about these two, HomeSpotter Boost and Social Ad Engine, is they do all the hard work, right? So you don't have to worry about running the ad on Facebook, looking at the analytics, trying to optimize that ad, making sure it's being seen, right? Making sure you're in compliance. They do all the heavy lifting for you. They make sure it's compliant. They do all the people, the curated audience. They run the ad for you. They complete the campaign. They send you all the data, and you do it with what you want with the data. So this is great, as well as like HomeSpotter Boost with those leads, those immediate leads that you're getting. You can just get on the phone and call them, or get on line and send them a quick note. So it saves you that extra headache. Some agents, they get put in Facebook jail because they're not following the guidelines. And sometimes it's really hard to get out of Facebook jail. Sometimes it's very, very hard for you to go back once you've been kind of seen by Facebook, and you have that X on your head. So this just makes it easy for you guys. I love both of them. I think it's great that you don't have to worry about trying to create an ad that might get banned. Social Ad Engine also creates campaigns in under 5 minutes. It creates campaign armed to your advertising goal. We kind of already touched on that. You can automatically build campaigns for your listings. So this is a listing driven, and it can also be a branding driven in Social Ad Engine. You can also, there's more tools in Social Ad Engine if you wanted to run ads on Revitalize. They have that there. You can automatically optimize campaigns for best performance by choosing the areas. And you have downloadable seller reports that you can show to your seller. These are the efforts that I'm doing to get your house seen and sold. The great thing about both Social Ad Engine and HomeSpotter Boost is you have a support team 24/7 that you can call. If you're running an ad on Facebook, it is very hard to track someone down on Facebook. I don't know if you've tried. I've tried. It takes months sometimes. There's no line you can just pick up and call. So this is great that you have somebody that you can just pick up the phone and say, hey, my ad's not running correctly, and they'll be able to assist you. Cole Realty Resource, we talked about this a little bit, but for 70 years, Cole is the information that has been helping agents get more listings. So this is a program we have on desk that you go in and you can actually put in a neighborhood or a zip code. You can get down to the neighborhood. It will pull up all the information for that neighborhood that they can find in our database. And these are actually scrubbed pretty frequently. Cole is one of, for 70 years, it's been one of the best out there. It's tried and true. It's got the most accurate information. And they have added that DNC, so the do not call list. So that's on there for you as well. So just helps you with having to go and, check to see if you can call that person. But Cole's a really great way. Just remember, when you're using Cole, we're not spammers. So we're not going in there and downloading 20,000 names and, putting them on an email blast. These are going to be obviously those targeted areas that you're working in. So think about the neighborhoods that you're really farming, or your niche. You're not going to want to go in there and download a whole zip code, because then you're going to be casting that net way too wide. You want to get really down to the place that you're targeting. And then leverage the power of Listing Concierge. So Listing Concierge, the main goal of Listing Concierge is to get you just one more. So our comprehensive property marketing program is designed to help you attract new clients with professionally executed materials that are proven to work. It also helps increase your efficiency, boosts your production power, and sets you apart from the rest. So if you're new to real estate, new to Coldwell Banker, Listing Concierge is where it's at. There's no other firm out there that has the program that we have, that we offer it at the price that we offer it at. It is a multi-level marketing campaign. And what I mean by that is it's got different types of touch points. You've got your digital component through social media, as well as email and website. You've also got a YouTube video and a TV video in some of the packages. And you have that postcard, print piece, and magazine. So you're getting a very multifaceted campaign for a great rate. And it sets you apart. You can also use those materials that you get through Listing Concierge in your future listing appointments, and you will win the listing every time. That is one thing that we find. Agents that use Listing Concierge win the listing every single time. There's not one person that can compete with us in our marketing, because it's just that great. It's multifaceted. It gets that property sold faster. It gets you exposure, and it helps you get another listing. So take advantage of the Listing Concierge. We always say it wins the listing You can prove your value, right? You don't have to negotiate your commission because you can prove what you're bringing to the table. And then you can turn that one listing into 3 because you're sending out postcards to that area and you're becoming that neighborhood expert. And the more that you do in that neighborhood, as soon as somebody's getting ready to sell, they can say, wow, I get a postcard from Brittany once a month. She sells in this neighborhood. She must be the neighborhood expert. So it keeps you top of mind. And it also gets you in front of potential customers that you probably wouldn't be able to get in front of. For instance, the Florida magazine that we have our advertising in up here in Northwest Florida, and I believe you have down south, it's called the View magazine. That goes out to 75,000 customers that pay for the magazine, or that gets, some pay because they get the Wall Street and that comes with it, or it's inserted depending on what your market is. But that's 75,000 people that you're getting in front of that you wouldn't be able to get in front of on your own at the price that you are. So that alone is a great value, as well as obviously the TV, the other marketing that you get. And it also includes the Home Spotter Boost we talked about. Build your database from a variety of resources. So online friends. So this is where social media comes into key, right? Making sure you have a very good, strong business Facebook page that you're leveraging on a weekly to daily basis. The bigger database that you have, the more referrals that you can get and the more people you can get in front of. Vendors and people you interact with in business. So get in touch with those vendors. Be a resource. There's one class that I teach and it's LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is a great place to connect with your vendors and people and investors and people with money, right? People with jobs are usually on LinkedIn. Get into those groups on LinkedIn, real estate communities, investors, roofers, contractors, and be that wealth of knowledge, because if you can offer something to them, they're going to see that and say, wow, this person is really, they're offering unsolicited advice, which is great. It's a wealth of knowledge. I want to call them when I'm ready to sell. Old leads from open houses, make sure you have them on drip campaigns. It's very important that you stay organized. That goes back to our business plan, making sure you're grouping individuals in your contacts in different groups. So maybe one is old leads, one is past buyers, past sellers, hot leads, cold leads, or however you want to verb it for your brain to really stay organized. But keeping those leads on drip campaigns and making sure you're staying top of mind. Referral agents and licensees who have left the business. So keeping those contacts, as well as remembering that just because you can't sell in every single state in the United States doesn't mean that you can't get referrals, or that you can't have referral agents in different states that you work with hand in hand and partner with. So for instance, I'm from California. So if I was an agent, I still have a lot of contacts in California that I could refer out. They were ready to buy and sell. So just reminding your friends and your family and your sphere and your social media friends, hey, I might not live in the same state as you, but I can refer you to a great agent. Download contact information from Kohl's, put that into your drip campaign. Make sure that you have the individuals in your niche or your farm area. Again, we're not spammers. And then try to at least add one name per day and start connecting with your sphere. So I usually tell new agents to do this, especially people maybe from a different firm or somebody who has a ton of contacts. It's daunting sometimes to try to put all of them in at once, but try to put one a day. Try to get one person's contact information, be it in the grocery store, be it, wherever you're at. One thing that's not in this PowerPoint that my dad used to do, and I'll give you guys some good advice, and any seasoned agent out there will tell you that they wear their name tag everywhere. Doesn't matter where they're at. Car wash, grocery store, hospital, vet, whatever, you name it, they wear their name tag because it strikes up a conversation, right? When someone sees that name tag and says, oh, you're a realtor, I have a question for you. You can actually strike up a conversation with somebody. So wear your name tag wherever you go. Don't wear it to bed, but wear it when you're out and about so you can start conversations. Provide value. So we've talked about this a little bit, but provide market updates, real estate how-to, community information, listings, right? I see a lot of times content on people's social media, especially realtors, is very dry and boring. It's, I just sold this house, blah, 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 which is great, right? We want to talk about your successes. It's great to be, to celebrate your successes. But that's not what we need to see all the time. We need good content that people want to read, right? So I always say get with local businesses, highlight local businesses, partner with local businesses, support your community, give the community events that are happening in your area, family friendly, things that are going on, real estate how to, tips and tricks. During COVID, I watched this one real estate individual that I follow quite frequently, and she did a whole Q&A of how to, especially because there was a lot of DIY going on for COVID, but how to increase your property value and how you can do it, and the 5 things that you can do that will increase your property value. And she went through each day one thing. She talked about painting the exterior of the house. She talked about updating your kitchen, adding backsplash in your kitchen, like things that you could do without a contractor that a layperson could do that would increase the value of the property. And I thought that was great. I mean, I still to this day, I think about those videos because they were very informative. So think about things like that. Think about the content that you're sharing on Facebook. Are you doing it intentionally to keep your audience engaged? Are you doing it because it's a chore, right? If you're doing it because it's a chore, you might as well not do it because you're not going to get a good following, right? Staying top of mind, you have to be intentional and you have to be very calculated on what you share. So be purposeful. Use language to attract the business that you want, right? So if you want to be in that luxury space, talk about luxury property, talk about luxury fixtures, talk about luxury insights. If that's the space you want to play in, then you're going to have to talk that language. So let's get started right now. So some of the things that you could do today to really start getting just one more is the MarketQuest V2. So MarketQuest V2, if you haven't been in there, this is another great tool. This actually gives you #1 claims for Coldwell Banker. It also gives you market insights, and it gives you our brand position in the area. And you can share those on social media. You can also email those out. BrandServe has a ton of content in there for social media. You can do small business shout outs. You can share testimonials. You can share just listed, just sold. There's Revitalize in there. There's tons of collateral in BrandServe for you to download today to start your content. And then you also have your InTouch Design Center, which we're now obviously transitioning to Moxie. So that would be Moxie Impress, where you have brochures, flyers, postcards, social media banners, as well as Listing Concierge. You also have your social media banner to share as well. So that's kind of the end of my session today. Let me exit out of here and get into the chat to see if there's any questions in the chat or any questions that you guys might have. Bottom line is we want to be listing agents. That's where we're going to see the ROI, right? You can run buyers around all day long and never write an offer. With the listing, you have the listing and you're looking just to get it sold. So that's what we're really gearing to and we're really focused on. And these are the tools that you have with Coldwell Banker to get those listings. Does anyone have any questions? I see a hand up and I think it's Eva. Great class and great energy. Oh, thank you so much. Try to make it fun because I know you guys sit on these webinars for days and sometimes it's like the Charlie Brown person, wah, 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 wah. So I try to make it personal so you guys can really relate because I'm a storyteller, if you can't tell. So thank you. Oh, awesome. Thank you so much for your feedback. Love that. Awesome. No problem, Chance. Thanks for joining the session today. Well, I'm going to stick around here for a minute. If you guys have any questions, I'm also going to put my email in the chat. So if you have questions and you maybe just want to reach out to me one-on-one, I'm happy to chat. I also have a YouTube channel where I put all of my recorded classes as well as anything else I'm doing. I will put in the chat for you to subscribe to if you're looking for some more videos. Otherwise, thank you for joining me today and spending your Tuesday afternoon with me. I enjoyed it and I pray that you guys all have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much. And once everybody is off of the chat, I'll be able to get the recording and that will be up on my YouTube channel. Hi, Max. Absolutely. Have a wonderful day.